Welcome viewers to this special episode of Gender Diversity in an Altered World. On occasion of this International Women's Day, I would like to wish all the wonderful women out there happy International Women's Day. May there be more girl power out there and we find more women leaders in senior positions across organizations. I'm Dr. Karthik Nagendra. I'm the co-founder of Pink Ladder. We are a career enhancement ecosystem where we work with women professionals as well as organizations to see how we can improve the gender diversity ratios across organizations and especially in the senior leadership roles. So we've, on occasion of this International Women's Day, we are pleased to release our new report, which is called My Future, My Voice. So this was a pan-India study that we did, which covered about 200 odd female students from graduate schools, MBA schools, as well as engineering colleges. Our idea was to understand how these future women leaders perceive gender diversity at the workplace. What are some challenges which they are seeing, and how do they see the pandemic impacting gender diversity charter across organizations? So today I have three wonderful women with me here. So Divya is from Christ University. Divyanshi, she's from NMIMS, and Shreem, she's from IIM Sambalpur. So welcome all of you. It's really nice to have you on this panel today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So Divya, I will go with you first, since you are the senior among the other two here. So in our study, we noticed that over 27.5% respondents feel there are decreased career opportunities for women post-pandemic. So what do you think has been the impact of the pandemic on career opportunities for women?
So I agree to it. There has been a reduced opportunities for women after the pandemic. A lot of sectors which women are working in for the workforce has been cut a lot. And the funny part is that it's a women who has been cut out and not their male counterpart. So the pandemic has had a major influence on women on not just losing their jobs, but also their work-life balance. A lot of them are having longer hours and they're not able to cope up with their after work hours, the thing. And the balance is very off. And this is also causing a lot of mental strain. And they always have to think twice before they ask for a leave, because when they ask for a leave, it is their job at stake. Whereas this is not applicable for men. So the pandemic has been bad on women's opportunities out there and going up the career ladder.
But that's true. In fact, from the mental wellness standpoint, in fact, last year, right around the pandemic period, when all companies moved into a work from home setup, we had done a study to understand what's the impact of work from home on women professionals itself. And there was almost, I think, over 60% of them said they had severe mental health issues post the work from home situation came in. Because there was pressure at the home front and at the work front, and like you rightly said, they couldn't apply for leave because the jobs were at stake. So I totally get that. Shreem, would you have anything to add on to that? Shreem or Divyanshi?
So my previous job was work from home. So I had a lot of convenience. I think it also depends on different scenarios.
Yeah.
As the world is adapting to the pandemic, I think a lot of platforms and opportunities are going to increase. And I look at it in two ways. One is women across phases of their life. If someone is a mother, yes, work-life balance needs to be worked out, but it also gives her the opportunity of being at home while also working. And at the same time, I think geographical limitations have reduced as well. So I'm someone who's from Bangalore. My opportunities are unlimited as compared to someone who's maybe from a two-tier city. So I think there's a positive outlook after the pandemic. But during the pandemic, I think there was a lot that everyone had to cope with and adapt to. So yeah, I see a positive change in this aspect.
That's true. In fact, during the pandemic, we had conversations with a lot of HR leaders to understand how they've had to revisit their drawing board with respect to gender diversity and charter. And I remember a couple of HR leaders sharing with us that, in fact, they've seen some of their women workforce come back to work because they had quit earlier, either because of relocation, marriage, among other things, and they did not have the work from home option. So, in fact, those women have all come back into the workforce. So, I think it's quite interesting to see, the dual force at play here. So, on one side, the mental health related aspect needs to be looked into, but on the other side, there is also these opportunities which are coming in. Devyanshi, anything that you would like to add?
Yes. So with the pandemic, as we all know that it's working from home, which means that the members at home are constant. And this impacts women negatively as along with her own work. She has to manage the household work also. Typically, in an Indian household, the man of the house does not help in the household work. In such scenario, a woman has to cook 3 times a day, clean the house, and all sort of works she needs to do. And this also impacts her in a way where she does not get break at all. That affects her mental health also, and the office, with the office hours, with household work, everything just keeps on building up. So
Yeah, so they like they say it's the double burden syndrome,
yeah.
which impacts women because they need to balance both out. So very interesting, diverse perspectives on that aspect. Interestingly, the next aspect which I wanted to focus was because, like I said, the number of women in leadership position in organizations is very less. So a lot of organizations have a good, healthy mix of men to women in the junior levels, but as the career progression happens, you see very few women in senior leadership positions there. So in fact, in our survey, we had about over 40 or 50% respondents said that they don't see enough women leaders to emulate as role models in organizations. So I wanted to understand from three of you, what inspires you to pursue your career aspirations. So maybe Devyanshi can go with you.
Yeah. So for me, I would want to make the lives of people better, especially those who are working under me. Understanding them would be a key priority to me. So creating something for others would empower me to feel the ever need of achievement. So I just want to create better jobs for the people who need. So that inspires me to achieve the career that I want to go in.
So who would you look up to as probably inspiring women leader?
So I look up to Sudha Murthy ji. I just adore her. She's my inspiration.
Okay, nice. Shreem, would you like to answer that question?
So I've always, I mean, my work ex has been in the social development sector. So I've truly always pursued something that I love.
Okay.
And I think that's what inspires me is it gives me an identity. It gives me something that I want to work on. And apart from the financial independence and stability that we have, I think it's just something that gives you, it gives you something to work towards and a sense of achievement that it's kind of a selfish motive, honestly. But and in terms of even the people around me, I think fortunately with the supportive system and every woman around me, my sister, my mom, my friends, all of them are so hardworking, so it definitely inspires me on the daily to work towards what I really want.
Nice. Divya, what about you? What inspires you? And who do you look up to as inspiration?
So like Shreem mentioned, if you love what you do, you're going to enjoy it. You don't need a more reason to look beyond that. And in addition to that, I also believe that when you grow, there are a lot of people who you meet in your everyday life that actually contribute to your growth. And in your journey also, you should also make sure that you create opportunities for others and you give back to the society, because we have plenty of people who are always there sucking out the life of a lot of things. So there has to be people who balance it out by giving more to the world. And I think the difference lies in, being a change maker rather than following the crowd and going along with it. So that is what inspires me to, maybe like if you look at Kamala Harris, it was something which nobody thought, but she went ahead, she did it. and that's who I want to be. So that's what inspires me.
That's really nice. So, hypothetically speaking, right now, and I'm sure in due course, I wish this really happens. If you guys were made the CEO of a particular company, what would you do differently to create more opportunities for women at work? Shreem, let's go with you.
I think this is hard because I want to definitely acknowledge that a lot is being done currently as well. But as the CEO, I think what I see lacking is I don't see that support system from women in the industry. So you have your home, and they're pushing you and like, go, go, go. But when I'm going into the industry, I don't know who to reach out to, who can help me, who can kind of mentor me through that process. So that's an ecosystem I would want to create in my company, within the company as well as externally, if there are women who want to approach the company and be a part of it. So that's something I would definitely want to work on.
Okay.
And second thing is just normalize the entire process. I think it's a lot more, we've reached a stage where we need to work on mindsets rather than the awareness.
Yes.
And how do we work on that with male and female employees within the company? So it's hard, it's tricky, but I would want to strive towards kind of normalizing that bridge between male and female.
That's absolutely true. I think there's a lot of the social conditioning which also comes into play there.
Right.
Right from our childhood, how we are brought up, and who do you see around you as role models and what they've been doing. I think that also has a lot of impact on this. Divya, your thoughts?
So what I believe is, if I was a CEO, instead of looking at as just creating opportunities for women, I believe in making it an equal platform. People should be hired based on their talent, their skill sets, their attitude, rather than their gender or any other bias. So that is one thing which I believe has to be eliminated. And another thing, what I feel is a lot of companies have the gender equality or creating more opportunities for women as a sustainable development goal, which they just want to tick it off as an objective so that they can publish in their annual report. I believe it should more of be a strategic approach, because with diversity comes growth and innovation. So that should be the mindset that leaders have to adopt and look into, rather than just it being an objective to be accomplished.
True. In fact, there are a lot of studies which also show that organizations which have a good diverse workforce, and especially across the organization and at leadership positions, they tend to definitely have a positive business impact as well. So Devyanshi, your thoughts?
Yeah, so I agree with Shreem and Divya to create a positive workforce. So what I want to do is I also want to create a certain number of rules just for the positive work environment. I would also try to make sure that the number of women workers in the office are equal to that of men, and will ensure that women too are part of the crucial decisions taken within the organization. Also, I would love to create a cab or shuttle facility for women with a female driver, so as they can feel comfortable around there. And also, I would want to give one extra leave to women for their period pain, not because they are weak or something, but the body needs it. So, and night shift would be optional just for their security.
Yeah, I think few of the organizations have started moving in this direction, but I think it's still a long way to go. So one common thread which I could see was also that there is a lot of this conditioning, bias, and all that's at play across organizations and even in the society when it comes to it. And interestingly, in our study also, it showed that about close to 20% of the respondents felt that male and female students were not treated equally, even when it came to career opportunities at the campus during their campus placements. So how do you think we can look at overcoming this bias that exists, either at the home front or at the college front or tomorrow at the workplace front, so that we can enable more women to pursue their dreams? Divya, let's go with you.
So I believe as human beings, we're bound to have obstacles in our lives. So that should not hinder us from getting where we are. That being said, I think these thought process has to be instilled in us when we are young. From a young age, I think the environment we are at plays a lot of significance in how we think. And with our generation, at least, I believe everything has to be looked at from, an equal opportunity point of view rather than associating anything to femininity or masculinity as the normal this thing. And I don't see a need for a lot of hype to be created with regards to feminism, masculinity. It's a normal way of living. Okay, that does not has to be any terminologies associated. People are going to have a lot of bias. Today it might be your gender, tomorrow it might be your race. There's something which is going to come up irrespective of what you do. So I believe instead of taking it from a negative standpoint of view, I think just focus on your objectives. And I think that is a very good enough reason for you to push yourself forward, and you will get what you want if you work hard enough for it. So that's about it.
Nice. Shreem, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there are two levels. One is at a personal level, you kind of need to break your own mind block as well. So if I'm in a group, because we have a lot of group work in management school, and just by ratio, I am Sambalpur luckily actually onboards a lot of female candidates, but
Nice.
let's say by ratio I have 5 guys and I'm the only girl in a group. I can't be thinking I'm the only girl in a group. That's just going to kind of put me a step back as well. So how do you break your personal barriers and look at each other as colleagues and not as male and female? That's the personal level. And at a larger level, I agree with Divya, is that you need to trigger a lot of these conversations. So you have subjects like organizational behavior, HR, guest lectures. How can these things be incorporated a lot more? Because not only is it providing a support system for women, but it's sensitizing the future male leaders as well.
True.
So I think that, yeah, it's a long term process, but I think it needs to be looked at both the levels.
Yeah, that's very true, because the needle movement for gender is not going to happen if the men are not involved in the conversation. So in fact, that you need a lot more male champions also to be part of this entire dialogue, the movement, the support system for things to move forward. Devyanshi, your thoughts? Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Just a point. In fact, at my college for Women's Day, they've created a campaign where the boys at college need to put out an article about women, which I thought was very interesting. It was just involving the other gender completely, and I think that's a step towards it.
That's very true, because only once you get into it do you tend to realize a lot of things that we do unconsciously also. So that's like a good starting point. Devyanshi, your thoughts?
Yeah. So, on a personal level, I have a really progressive family that allows me to pursue my dreams and want me to be on top of my field. So, personally, I have not faced biases, but understanding on the larger perspective, understanding everyone's point of view, where they are coming from, and why the bias exists, we need to know that. This helps us to understand them as well, and will come out of it real quick and easily. So
it's like going to the root of why this is actually happening. So that takes me to the next question, and in fact, this data was quite disturbing also as part of the study that we got, where close to 40% of respondents have said that they don't see themselves having a long career stint and reaching their goals. One other point to that was an equal percentage said that there is a lot of negative perception towards career-oriented women, and because of which also they tend to not pursue their goals aggressively. So if each one of you were to put out one request out there to the industry or to even families out there, what would that be, so that we are able to enable more women to reach their goals? Shreem, we'll go with you.
Okay, this is hard because I think everyone's situation is very different. Like Devyanshi said, if you have a strong family, then it does get easier for you to kind of move forward. I think it's my request would just be to, I would go back to the normalizing part. Again, it's a long process, but just normalize it. I mean, we need the lifestyle we want to live, the comfort we want to live at. Honestly, it makes it easier for the man also if the woman's earning as well. It's just making the process easier. So just, I mean, for me, it comes, for us, it's easily, we're like, why is this a problem? But really, that's just it. You're dividing, labor division in the household is what works. It makes it easier, it makes it more sustainable, and it provides both the people identity. So, yeah, I think at a house level, that would be my request, is just to reduce those biases. And at an industry level, I think, again, selection bias is a huge problem, even in the HR world. So, how can we look at, let's say, me being a candidate for sales? Is it my physical appeal that's important to be a saleswoman, or my sales pitch? So, can we look at quality rather than, these physical attributes? So, that would be my.
Interesting. Divyanshi, your thoughts?
Yeah. So I would want a gender inclusive workplace. I would request industry to build a gender inclusive workplace rather than just giving the conceived notion that that's a male or female, and pay women the payment that they deserve. If women are recognized as much as men, then there is nothing to stop them from reaching greater heights, irrespective of their genders.
True. I think the pay parity is very, very crucial aspect and one of the key elements for having a gender equal workplace. Divya, your thoughts?
So I believe that the top leaders who are running the organization should set an example to the rest, because everybody looks up to these senior level managers or the board of directors, and their attitude itself towards women can at least progress this growth. Another thing, like I mentioned before, people should be evaluated based on their skill sets and having the right attitude rather than their gender. So that makes sure that the playing field is leveled out there. Nobody is being hired. Roles are not being associated to a male person alone or a female person alone. So anybody can do any job. You just need to have the right skill sets and the right attitude. And the focus should be on the attitude, I believe, because it's hard to build your attitude, but it's easier to build skill sets because that can be learned over a period of time. So that has to be the focus.
So my last question, and this is open to either of you. So we are seeing, especially post the pandemic, that there's a lot of acceleration on the technology front that's happening. Right now, AI is becoming a lot more mainstream in areas that we hadn't even imagined that it would happen. And the other complexity there is also the number of women in the STEM area, science, technology, engineering, math, is also low when compared to men. So how do you see this playing out from a gender equality standpoint at the workplace? This is an open question. Either of you can take it up.
Okay, I'll go first. So I'm working with this organization, Thousand Eyes on Me, and there are plenty of other organizations, Women in AI, Women in Tech, etc. A lot of them, their strategies is to pair up with an organization like a company and provide them the hiring from a woman. And these are only for women. They can only hire women through their portal. And technology, like Shreem had mentioned, especially during the pandemic, it made it a lot more easier for women because they didn't have to travel. They could make sure that there was some amount of balance which came and they could spend more time at home. So there are many organizations which are just aimed at making sure this gender equity is achieved. So I think we are going in the right direction. And it will take time, but I think it is a good enough wait. And yeah.
Sure. Shreem, would you like to add anything, Devyanshi?
Yeah, I think this is the same with the engineering and management field, right? You have women much less in number than men. So I think it's really like a prolonged issue.
Yeah.
So I think it goes back to basics. In school, I mean, you need technical knowledge. You need knowledge in space. You can't just allocate numbers and be like, okay, we need a minimum of 30 women, because like we said, there has to be quality employees as well. So I think it goes back to school level. Encourage girl children or female children to, if they're interested, take it up, pursue it. And I think now management colleges have a lot of like a quota just for women.
Yeah.
And like Divya also said, so I think that's something that will at least kickstart that process of getting more women on board. But I think it goes down to just letting them pursue their career in this field and not make it a male field.
Yeah,
So,
that's very important. I think, like you rightly mentioned, starting at the school level is very important. Uh, Clearly, the way science is taught, or math is taught, or how it is positioned in, either through cartoons or through movies, etc. So I think that also is going to play a lot of role in getting more women in the STEM field, and because that's very crucial. Otherwise, all the algorithms will be built by men, so you're just making the bias all the more bigger in the entire space. So thanks a lot, all of you. It was really nice chatting up with you, and I'm sure each one of you will be a good role model leader for a lot of other aspiring women out there in due course. And I'm sure you will carry the flag. You'll be the flag bearers for gender equity at workplaces. So wishing all of you all the very best. And for our viewers, the our report, My Future, My Voice, will be available on our website. You can visit pink-ladder.com to download this report and share it with everyone, because we need this voice to be shared with all, and thereby make this world a better place and an equal place for everyone. Thank you.